Hi, Minister. Thank you, and thank you to your team for being here today. I'm going to have 3 or 4 questions, and we're going to concentrate on pages 41,010, starting with page 2. At the beginning of page 2, there's an estimate of 1.55 billion allocated to GIS for the upcoming fiscal year.
Page 2?
Which 41010 and page 2 from that. 1.55 billion has been allocated to GIS for the upcoming fiscal year.
Let me just find.
Big yellow. 41,010.
Give me a page number, please.
41 after the capital budget for me.
41010. All right, let me just go through it because I think you can get it without the finding it. Right, so there's an estimate of approximately 1.55 billion allocated to GIS for upcoming fiscal year. Could the ministry outline the principal drivers of the level of expenditure and how value for money is assessed in the delivery of government communication services? Are you satisfied with GIS's ability to deliver on the ministry's mandate for communication and information?
Okay. All right. So in terms of GIS, we have some very hardworking people at GIS, and GIS is one of those really beautiful brands that we've built across administrations. Times have changed, though. And if we're really very honest, we know that the traditional radio spots and the TV spots aren't really listened to as much as they would have in the past. And so we've had to be looking at how we ramp up, for example, on social media. There is a lot of information out there. There's information overload. How do we get the government message out and to get really accurate information out? And so we've had to pivot to social media. I've had to say to them that you have to have a TikTok first strategy given where we are in Jamaica. And so what you will see in the coming year is them acquiring more individuals in that space and also more equipment so that we can better communicate in the way Jamaicans want to be communicated to. That's the key thing.
And where they are.
Yes.
Okay, so most of that budget will be going towards
Yes,
human resource and team capacity
revamping.
building.
Yeah.
All right. Page 4, same 41010, program 468. Government Information and Communication Services. It reflects allocations exceeding $1 billion. Could the ministry indicate whether the GIS acts as the central coordinating body for government communications across ministries and agencies?
No, it does not. And that is where it should go, right? But every ministry has its own comms department.
Minister, you just said the answer is no, it's not. We just move on.
I was hoping for a little conversation there, chairs.
Yeah, because we noted across the budget that each ministry and agency has a separate budget allocated to communication.
Yes.
How do we ensure there's no duplication of efforts and that government money is being spent judiciously?
So what happens is that we have regular meeting of the communication heads, and so you develop strategy as a group. But in terms of the budget lines still remain in the various ministries, but we try to coordinate it through those meetings. To some success sometimes, and others not as much, but the GIS also coordinates with all of the ministers in terms of the coverage of what they are doing.
Mm-hmm. So when we say like $1 billion here for, government information coordination as it is allocated here, it's not truly the reflection of the money the government is putting and throwing towards promotion and communication.
No.
Do you have an idea of how much is being spent by the government out of the budget annually?
I
to
wouldn't,
communication?
and it's something that I would like to get eventually, but I don't have that now.
Okay. Point you to page 5, activity 11662, public relations and communication. It reflects 93.9 million for public information campaigns. Could the ministry outline the criteria used when selecting media platforms for placement of government communications? Are you using things, measurement tools and market surveys to guide where you go, what platforms, what media stations, what radio stations, what television programs you go on, or it's just, as you said earlier, in education, where you feel like go?
No, I think that one tends to be a little bit more studied than that, right? Because we all know which stations everybody listens to. And so as much as possible, you want to get as many people listening to your message as possible. And so you go where they are. And one of the things that we've also been seeing is that we've been pivoting a little bit more to social media because it's cheaper and that's where people are. So we've been doing that, but we usually do it based on some study of, you do know the market survey. I know you use it a lot.
Yeah.
And that's very clear on who the leaders are. And sometimes it surprises Jamaicans.
Right. And which is why it's surprising for me that such a huge proportion of our budget appears to be directed at entities that do not enjoy the highest media survey. So I wonder what is the strategy what's the methodology that drives where you go and where you send the government's money?
Yeah, well, I think generally it is based on who is your target audience, and so you go as much as possible to
Don't howl.
the target audience is.
Sorry, I wasn't able to hear you, Minister. Sorry. There was a lot of howling from wounded people.
Yeah.
I can't hear her. Minister, we out of time.
Look, I'm recognized.
Turn it back, Ben.
Okay, so continue, Chairman.
His mic is off, Chairman.
Yes, they might have been available.
It does not outline
Just a minute, Minister, member. No, member.
You're
Turn
not
off those
recognized.
mics. Turn off the mic. Turn off the mic. Noel. Noel. Turn off the mic. Turn off your mic. Yeah, turn off the mic. Look.
What's your
The question. Turn off the mic, Tony. The question, you said the minister may not have the answer to those questions. Allow the minister to say, I'll supply them later on.
Thank you.
But we can't cut her off.
Thank you so much.
But
Thank
you
you
can't
for
cut them short
thank
now.
you for the
If you ask the question,
protection.
the person
Thank
to
you,
know.
Chair. We love this, Chairman. At the moment, I'm in love. Minister, thank you for that information. I wonder, just a follow up on what you raised earlier, same line item in terms of how we ensure that we're efficiently using government resources. Are there eligibility criteria governing the media entities that receive or placement? Do we look, for example, on whether or not entities are compliant with their statutory obligations and stuff before we spend our government resources with them?
In terms of, I thought your question was really, well, I thought you were speaking to, if we're talking about television and radio, remember that this ministry has purview over the Broadcasting Commission of Jamaica. Every week I get a notice that said to a station that did something inappropriate. They may have played a song they shouldn't have played. Mm-hmm. And so we are very much cognizant of all of the radio stations, and they are fine. So there's no issue with our radio stations or our television stations. And so what's done is they choose based on the target audience. And even if we're thinking about social media, they use Google Analytics, and Google Analytics says advertise here, advertise there, and we're compliant with all procurement guidelines around this.
All right, Minister, this is my final question. Well, my second to last question then. Final question? I'll work with the chairman. I love this chairman today. Yeah. Minister, page 5. Activity 11662 it speaks to public relations and communication. Could the ministry indicate what safeguards exist to ensure that publicly funded communications campaigns remain informational in nature and do not cross into political promotion? What safeguards do you have for that? I started with the page. I started with the page. You weren't listening. Would you like me to repeat? Minister Hurd. Minister Hurd. Minister Hurd. You should be concerned about how the government's money is spent, right? I know you are concerned.
Minister,
Exactly.
Madam Minister,
Exactly.
is that within the patriarchs that you refer to?
On that page,
Is that relevant to
on that
patriarchs
page,
too?
it talks about public research.
Public
You want to answer
11662.
1162 is about public relations,
Right.
public research department charged with conceptualizing and executing public education campaigns.
So it's public
this would-
education. So it's a
this would
content.
include-
We're speaking about the content of the public communication that exists.
Madam,
You,
Member-
what you
the
mean it's not in the
BCJ,
book?
and we're
Member
compliant.
Burchell, I love you answer now. Make
Thank you,
answer.
Chairman. Thank you for the protection, Chairman.
I didn't object to it. Make answer.
We're compliant with the BCJ rules. We're very compliant.
That's the final question.
No. You said what's final one. We're moving on now.
Chairman, don't make me
No,
fall
no,
out
no,
of
no.
love, you know.
You said the
All right,
final
thank
question.
you, thank you,
I'm
thank
not
you.
going there. I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
It's okay, it's okay,
Final is final.
it's okay.
All our questions.
And then the other thing that I
We would never be back.
Nickiehsa. I look forward to your question, Mr. Bro, I started to ask, why did the
Who's next?
Member Buchanan from Portland.
Thank you,
What we're going to have here? Just a minute. You ask all the questions, they make a note of it, and they're going to answer them.
That is fine with me, Chairman.
Member Buchanan first. Okay? Ask the questions to make a note of it.